Greetings, Alvis Tennant, The Way of Victory. 50 years of martial arts and healing arts stories. We're on martial arts right now. I'm talking about my youth. 50 years. First, I want to shout out my son, Billion Dollar Visions, BillionDollarVisions.com. Check him out. He's a bad brother. He's my videographer. He's my tech man. He's my son. I want to also shout out my man, Banky Pound. Banky Pound has a channel called 33 Years of Prison. Tremendous channel. He was actually an inspiration for me to start my own channel because, thank God, I don't have 33 years of prison, but I got 50 years of martial arts stories. Check out my man, Banky Pound, 33 Years of Prison. He talks about the horrors of prison in the hopes of keeping some of our people out of prisons, keeping young people and old people from going into prison, men and women from going into prison. So let's get right to today's story. I think we left off, I was still in the Marine Corps. While I was in the Marine Corps, my last year, 1977, in about February 77, they started having what's called these smokers. That's where boxers would get together. Not actually boxers, but they would just, if you wanted to get in the ring with someone and do 3 2-minute rounds, you could jump in the ring, they'd weigh you up, and you didn't need any training. You could get them there and just swing. So guys who thought they could fight would put the gloves on and jump in the ring. So with all the training I had, I really made out very well in about 4 or 5 of these smokers. What my technique was, I'd jump around, like imitate Muhammad Ali, and I could catch him with the jab, which was kind of like a back fist in karate. So my hands were pretty fast, a lot faster than most people's. So I would hit with the jab and then jump in there and throw 4 or 5 punches, jump back out, jump in, throw 4 or 5 punches, jump back out, jump in there, throw 6, 7 punches, jump back out. So a couple times, my first time I jumped in there through a jab, 2 punches through a jab, 4 punches through a jab, 6 punches, and the dude just, he'd had enough. So that was like, I held my hands up, I'm all, feeling good about myself. I had about 2 or 3 more like that, and then I'm really feeling very strong about myself, and, we could say arrogant, and then we had another one coming up, a big one. And this was where some actual dudes who could box were going to come in, but I was confident in my skills. And we got together. I told all my friends about it because I'm going to put on a show for everybody. So anyway, it came time for me to fight, and we get out there, and about 300 people looking. Everybody cheering, I've got a big fan base, because I'm pretty exciting to watch. And I jump out there, same thing, it's business as usual. Round 1, bam, boom, 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 bam, boom, boom, boom. He wasn't fast enough to hit me. I could tell he had some hard punches, but he wasn't fast enough to hit me. So the second round, I just ran into him and flurried on him as long as I could, like about 10 punches unanswered, and then the ref stepped in and gave him a standing 8. And so I thought he was like almost knocked out, and I ran out there to get him again, and boom, he hit me. I mean, he hit me harder than I'd ever been hit, and I dropped to one knee and got back up, and boom, he hit me again. I dropped to one knee again and got back up, but I couldn't even bounce. So the ref came in and gave a standing 8. And just for transparency, I'm going to be honest with you today. The ref was giving me a standing 8. And I looked at the ref. I didn't say anything, but I looked at the ref in his eyes and asked him to please stop the fight. I didn't say anything, but my eyes were like, I've had enough. So then when the ref stopped the fight, I acted like, oh no, don't stop it. Don't stop, because I didn't want the crowd to know that I had actually quit. But I did. I'd had enough. I got beat, and as I analyzed it, I know it was because I'd become too arrogant. So God has always, put me in my place throughout my whole life, even as a young man. So I'm about 20 years old at that point. And so that's about 21, actually, 21 years old at that point. So that's what happened. But before I got out of the Marine Corps, so I took that on the chin and worked with it. They actually stopped having smokers, and I kept training in my karate, free flow karate, and delving into full contact. So the next fight I had was going out of the Marine Corps was the fight with, and this was before I took Kung Fu. I had a fight, a full contact match where the champions from different camps got together. So I was champion of one camp, and I went to fight this champion in another camp. And he had like on a red, white, and blue gi, and had the crowd behind him. I was there by myself, and I had on a gi with like dirt on it, because I used to work out outside and roll on the ground and do all kinds of crazy shit, and wanted to project that. And I had a dirty gi and dirty sweatshirt, and they were like, "He can't fight. He don't even have a gi." But I knew I was ready, because I've been working very hard. So we square off, and to start things off, so this was full contact point. So you could punch as hard as you wanted to in the face and the body, kick, all that. The blows were full contact, but they would stop after each point. So we started off, I jump up in the air and throw a double front kick, which he blocks, but he's got his hands down blocking, and then I punched him as hard as I could in his mouth to start things off. So that was point number one. They stopped at point one. Then we get up again. I do a front kick, which I wanted him to block, which he did, and then caught him with a side kick. Another point. We set up again. Bam! I catch him with a back fist. Another point. So make a long story short, I got 10 points. He got 2 points, and I left that situation victorious.